Hello, New Hope family. I have put together this little video, even though I'm not great at videoing and all that kind of stuff, just bear with me, to talk with you guys for a minute about children's worship, which is really just worship. At New Hope, we believe that we were created by God to worship. And when we meet on Sundays as a church family together, we are worshiping corporately. So, with that in mind, we believe it's our job to train and teach and encourage and demonstrate for our kids how to worship and how to become worshipers, so that they are fulfilling what they were called to do. Right now we're not running any children's Sunday school classes or nursery or anything like that. We've had the children in corporate worship with us, and we're loving it. They might be wiggly and loud and drop things, but we love at New Hope having our children in worship with us corporately. And so our programs in our Sunday schools and our children's church are designed to teach and prepare our kids to be in worship with us. That's the ultimate goal, is that they're in, we call it in our family, big church. So we've put together 7 steps that we like to teach the children at New Hope for how to worship and what those look like. And so what I'm going to be doing with these videos is going through, I'll probably have one video with each step. So there'll be 7 videos in all. We'll start with the first step today. And the point of having these videos is so that you can be having these conversations with your kids throughout the week. And even personally, I know for me to think through different steps helps me to be more intentional in my worship on Sunday mornings. So I hope it's helpful. If you have any questions, you guys can always text me or call me or anything like that. These 7 steps are the 7 steps that we teach in children's church. So each Sunday in children's church, that's for ages 4 through 7, we go through a church service with the kids, and we kind of spell out exactly for them what we're doing and why we're doing it, so that when they come into big church, corporate worship with us, they understand and they can be and feel like a part of it. So all that being said, our first step in worship is preparation. Preparation, we prepare before we worship, and that starts before we even step into church on Sunday. Sometimes that means setting out our clothes the night before, or our tithe monies, or our Bible, so that mentally we are thinking through and preparing our hearts and minds and bodies for worship the next morning. When we get to church, that means using the bathroom before the church service starts. That means getting our wiggles out. Sometimes that means, I know for my boys, having them run laps or do jumping jacks and those kind of things. But this helps prepare our minds and our bodies and our hearts and our spirits for worship. And we're doing it corporately. We're doing it as a family. Our children at New Hope can look around when they're sitting in the sanctuary and think about all the different people in our church family who have been preparing for church service on Sunday morning. Our pastor has prepared his sermon. We have people come in and prepare all the chairs and make sure everything's clean and ready. We have people who come in and set out snacks, at least we did before, but they set out snacks and coffee. All of these people in the office, they're putting together a church bulletin. Mr. Van Meglin is putting together the music, and the musicians have been practicing the music. All of this is preparing for worship on Sundays. It's getting our hearts ready to focus and our minds ready to focus. And I just love for our kids to be able to look around and be aware of all the ways everybody's preparing to do this together as one family. And I tell my kids that it's kind of like going swimming. If you were to go swimming, what kind of things might you prepare? First, you might put on the right clothes. You might put on your swimsuit, and you might put on sunscreen to protect your skin, or you might find your goggles. And before you jump in to swim, you're going to take a deep breath and anticipate the water that you're about to jump in and the activity with what you're about to do, which is different than just randomly running and jumping into the pool with all your clothes on without taking a deep breath, without preparing your body and your mind mentally for what you're about to do. It takes away from the experience of swimming. So that's one way to think about it. All of life is worship, and the practice of preparing with some intention before we get ready to do the very thing that we were created to do and glorify and worship our God together. It's serious and it's wonderful, and we want to be intentional in how we do that. So this first step in worship is preparation. And all of that to say, we can also look around our church and we look at the mommies like myself and the daddies, and we don't always prepare the way we should. Sometimes Saturday night goes late, or the dishwasher breaks in the morning, or the dog runs off, and we don't feel very prepared. And that is one of the reasons we love to worship, is because we have a God who is gracious and loves our worship, even if we haven't prepared. And we thank Him for that. So I just want to make sure that at New Hope, that especially you mamas out there, know that as we go through these different steps for worship, they will be done imperfectly, and that's okay. We still show up together, and we're still working hard to train these kids together and to teach them and demonstrate to the best of our ability how to worship.